Oh, well, I think events like this are so important. You know, I think this is the future generation of our sport. I think, you know, it's easy to sort of get caught up in what's going on now and forget that, you know, these are our future England stars potentially. So I'm always encouraged to see young girls playing and coaches getting passionate on the sideline and, you know, people developing their talent basically. And, you know, I think the FA Girls Football Festival is really important. I think there's still a long way to go, but I think, you know, when you look at, you know, big broadcasters like BT Sport buying the rights of women's games, you know, you look at the viewing figures of BBC over the Euros, you know, those are things that 5 years ago, if you asked me whether that would happen, I probably would have said no. So there's progression, you know, the WSL is growing, there's internationals coming into the league that are confident to come to the teams here because of the investment and because of the facilities. You know, I hope the 5-year plan isn't just a 5-year plan. I hope that it's something that's going to be carried out because I think we deserve that as players. You know, a lot of the players would play for nothing. So I hope that, and for girls like this, you know, playing, I hope for the future is very bright for them and they get to experience better than what I get to experience. I think that's what it's all about. I'm in a privileged position to play for a great club and, you know, I'm a semi-professional, but, you know, the flip side of that is, and this is men's or women's, I think it's a very short career and I think it's important to invest in your career after football. And it just so happens that being a lawyer, a sports lawyer is my aim, and I prefer to do it now whilst I'm young and energetic than when I'm, you know, old and finished football and retired. And so, you know, it's tough but to balance it, but, you know, I think that's my choice. Some players have the benefit of playing professionally and that's up to them. Well, I think Sir Bobby Robson is obviously an iconic person in English football. He's a legend. You know, someone I think the game misses. You know, you look at the likes of Jose Mourinho, who is one of the greatest coaches in the world now. He'll stand and say Sir Bobby Robson taught him a lot. So, you know, he's invested in other coaches that are now taking the game on. So, you know, it's great that we're celebrating him today and his legacy. And you know, as part of a sort of football family, you like to see that, you know, the people who are the most influential being celebrated and being honoured. I think it's been a really weird season for Chelsea. I think you know, we started off really strong, top of the table, and then we lost a few games going into the Euro break. But generally, for me, you know, I was really happy that I moved. I think it's a better fit for me than Birmingham. I think Chelsea, you know, is a club that's moving in the right direction. There's an investment in the club. You know, the coach Emma Hayes is someone that I respect very highly. She's been all over the world coaching and putting teams together. So, you know, the future's really bright for us. I think, you know, when you've got the likes of Yuki Agimi coming into the team, who's a World Cup winner, you know, you've got to be excited about that. So, although we might not be getting the results we hoped to, you know, I feel really positive about, you know, the future and being part of a great team like Chelsea. Emma's always an opinion, you know, she always has a high opinion, and I think that she is someone that you have to respect her opinion because she's been there, you know, she's managed it, she knows how to get the best out of players. She's won quadruples with Arsenal. So, you know, I think, you know, what she said, you know, in terms of the players looking tired, in terms of, you know, other things that she said, I think, you know, she has a right to say it. I think she has a point, you know. We didn't perform, you know, we did probably look tired. Why that is, I don't know. But I think everyone who cares about the game has a right to speak about it. You know, we're not here to all pat each other's backs and you know, be nice and say the right things. I think, you know, it's about recognising, you know, what we need to do to carry on and being honest. And I think Emma's always been an honest person and she cares about the game, I know that. So she's not being negative for the sake of being negative. I think she genuinely cares and I think she has opinions about how the game should move forward. I think it's great to bring two tiers into the game, more so because, you know, you have that relegation and promotion element which makes it even tighter than it is this year. I think, with that, more teams are going to take it seriously. Hopefully more professional teams are going to invest in the women's game, because it's that incentive to get to the top. And hopefully that comes with more fans as well. I think you're seeing, so many people now wanting to see women's football. First-time watchers of women's football are just sold straight away when they watch it. So it's a really good time to be a player, and it's a really good time to be involved in women's football. Women in sport is it's a great, I've just seen the magazine. It's fantastic to see that, organisations like yourself are really trying to tap into what's going on and into a good time. So, I'm really pleased. It's a good time for women in sport and football in general. If you train every day and you play every day, you're going to get better. Is the best model, relying on men's clubs to invest? Probably not. The ideal world would be for women's clubs to be self-sustainable. But I think it would be wrong to sort of ignore the fact that you're part of a huge club. Chelsea is a huge club all over the world, and if they back women's football and they back the women's teams, that's fantastic. And I think that's happening more and more. You see in Arsenal, Liverpool, Chelsea, Man City next year, really looking to invest, and they're buying into this sort of one club kind of culture where they have obviously the academies, the women's team, the men's team, the disabled team, all under one umbrella. And I think that's fantastic. I think it's a great way forward. And I think with that comes a lot of fans, and from the men's game wanting to watch the women's game as well. So it's brilliant. It's good to see. I think a lot of fans will want to know why Man United don't have a women's team. They might have a lot of women's fans as well who would like to see a women's team, not just women's fans, men's fans as well. But a lot of clubs have this sort of bottom line mentality where if it doesn't affect our profit, we ain't going to do it, and I can kind of understand that. But I think what happens when you have other teams as part of one global team is that you draw people from all over. So it'll be good to see Man United maybe invest in the future, but maybe when the women's game is at a level where it's sort of high and flying, they'll come in then. We lost a few games going into the Euro break, but then I think generally as a team we've